I'm Nick Byron, welcome to Pocket News for Thursday the 27th of October. Today on the show, Microsoft's creative updates and Destiny Disco. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and first up, Microsoft held a press conference overnight and had some exciting developments for the future of VR. An upcoming Windows 10 update will deliver native support for VR. While Microsoft isn't building any VR hardware internally, their AR device, the HoloLens, appears to be able to pull off impressive mixed reality feats. What's that? You don't have $4,500 for a HoloLens? Fear not! Because there will be no shortage of VR headsets to choose from. Microsoft revealed that HP, Dell, Lenovo, Asus, and Acer are all working on devices which will be ready to launch by the second quarter of 2017. Best of all, they will retail starting at around $300 US, which is obviously a lot cheaper than things like the Oculus or the Vive, so they're gonna be heaps worse, but not unusable. These units are made significantly cheaper by what's called inside-out tracking, which supposedly delivers accurate movement tracking without the need for additional sensors. Which also means a lot less crap around your living room or study or the baby's room that you've taken over and the baby now sleeps in the study. While these units may not have the technical grunt of the Oculus and Vive, they'd still be a nice cheap entry into VR gaming. Though it will be up to the hardware makers and game developers to find ways to use these cheaper devices effectively in games. So we're being spoiled for choice with VR. Right now we've got Google Cardboard, it's about here, and then we got the PSVR, that's sliding in around there, and then we got the Oculus and the Vive up here. Now we're talking about a whole new bunch of VR things that are around here, sort of between your phone and the PlayStation 1. That's a lot of VR. You know, let's go lower. Let's go beyond. What's cheaper than cardboard, Pete?
Ants.
Ants, just strapped to your head, holding it. They can hold so much more than their body weight. I think we're onto something here. Moving on though, and Microsoft had more announcements, namely the Windows 10 Creators Update. Built straight into the Xbox app, people will be able to stream over Xbox Live, allowing their existing Xbox Live friends and followers to jump in and chat and interact from the Windows app or their Xbox One consoles. It looks like that Beam purchase is paying off already. Now more people just need to start beaming. Do you beam? Let me know in the comments. They're also expanding the concept of Arena, which they announced at E3 this year. At their E3 presser, they focused on large-scale esports tournaments and how Arena would facilitate those. Well, this time they explained the same features can be used on a much smaller scale, giving people the ability to create tournaments and challenges just between friends. Which is a clever tool, and one I will probably never use. I do not need more pressure to play video games. I'm already chained to the computer as it is. The last little note they dropped is that the Xbox One would be getting support for Dolby Atmos, which will benefit all those people who own their own cinemas. So that's nice. Not so nice though is that Turtle Rock Studios have had to end their support for Evolve. Studio co-founders Chris Ashton and Phil Robb shared the news in a message on their website. Despite the positive step of relaunching as a free-to-play title earlier this year, the team is being moved onto other projects by publisher 2K. Ashton and Robb lamented, quote, "This is the life of AAA game developers who aren't self-funded and don't own their own IP. We don't get to make the call. There's a lot that we really wish we could have done, especially taking Stage 2 to consoles, but it looks like that's just not meant to be." 2K have assured players that while there are no planned future updates, servers will stay up, quote, "for the foreseeable future." But ending once more on a positive note, terrible filmmaker Uwe Boll is retiring. The German writer and director has brought a number of awful game-to-film adaptations into the world and is now only stepping away because, quote, "the market is dead." Except in a German accent. Speaking to Metro, Boll revealed that money is the obstacle. He said, quote, "You don't make any money anymore on movies because the DVD and Blu-ray market worldwide has dropped 80% in the last 3 years. That is the real reason I just cannot afford to make movies." I mean, the man can't even get his own ideas crowdfunded, although that probably has a lot to do with how he treats his crowd.
Basically, my message is, f*** yourself.
Oh, I hope Assassin's Creed is good, just to rub it in Boll's face like a naughty German shepherd. All right, here's something else to rub in your face. It's thing of the day. I just made out with you, Boll.
It's like a hive mind, you know, we need to mine those brilliant brains out there. And
I would also have Pete strapped to my back. Highbrow.
It might trigger my dormant fashion sense.
Highbrow. Yeah, it's a bold fashion choice. Then there's the hair. And honestly, the hair just does its own thing. There's no product. I don't own a brush or a hairdryer or a comb. Those things just anger it.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my
We're not hitchhiking anymore. We're riding.
The team at Husky Raid are at it again, dancing it up in Destiny. This time they've choreographed to a Michael Jackson medley with all the thrills that entails. Highbrow.
You know, the more I can liberate you to be as creative as you possibly can be, the better.
Alright, that's it for Pocket News today. My Pocketeers, this afternoon on the Pocket YouTube channel, I start a civilization in Civilization 6, and tomorrow there will not be an Ask Pocket again. In fact, there won't be a second episode of Pocket after the news, because tomorrow afternoon, Pete, John, and myself are heading down to Melbourne for the International Games Week. We're going to be spending all of next week covering some of the big events from around the city, culminating in a 3-day stint at PAX Australia, where we will be making content from the show floor. So it's going to be a very different week. There's also not going to be any news videos from us next week either. Every video you see will be from us attending some cool event over the course of the week. Are you a cool event happening down in Melbourne? Then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. There are links for everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Murph and Clumps, another masterpiece, boys. I take my hair off to you. If you've made a thing, please send it in. Until we next send my Pocketeers, Nick, bye out. Oh, you. I'm so glad you're not making movies anymore. We can spend all the time together. That's not how I really kiss. It's okay. It's more like this.
It's a sort of a necessity in games for them to stay, you know, for game developers to stay honest, because they've got to make good games that people will like, instead of just making a product that will get pushed faster and faster and being sold through a new wave media like, you know, streaming.
You have never been more appropriately dressed to lament the death of old media.